So I posted on my Instagram that I was going to share with you guys how Cody proposed to me and how I had an idea all along. I kind of pretty much knew it was going to happen up until that night because I pretty much forgot. So the first time I had an idea is when we ended up going to Walmart. I went with his older sister Brittany, his younger sister Sierra, and I was really surprised that Cody wanted to come along because it's shopping. Like, he never really wants to go shopping. So we ended up, getting our decorations, and we started walking by the jewelry section. His sisters and I started looking through all of them, and I mean all of them. We were probably there for like 20 minutes trying on rings, checking our sizes, finding the styles that we liked. And Cody was being so patient, and I was like, hey, if you need anything, like, go grocery shopping at least. So he ended up going off and like getting a few things, and we're still there trying on all the rings, and we did that for a very long time. So when we left, I got in the car and I kind of mentioned it to Cody. I was like, that was a little weird. Like, I feel like they did that just to find out what ring size I was and stuff like that. I mean, obviously I don't know, even to this day, I don't know if that was the whole reason, but that's what I was thinking at that time. He mentioned to me that he wanted to start saving up for one. And I told him, I don't need this big shiny thing. Like, I don't even care if it's like the littlest diamond or whatever. I don't care. Like, to me, the size does not matter. To me, it's just the gesture and that you want to spend the rest of your life with me. It's not about how big the ring is. Like, that does not matter to me. I've told that so many times before, and he just wanted to start saving up money. I ended up seeing him put money away somewhere, and so when he went to work, I ended up opening it, and there was like first $10, and then there was like $400, and I'm like, okay, we're getting to a good start here. Like, he saved up $400, and then maybe like a week later, I look back in there and there's like $10, and I'm like, okay, back to square one, but it's fine. I'm in no rush, it's fine. We were going to be having a New Year's party at his sister's house, literally in the same complex as me. At first, it was just gonna be like just maybe 6 or 7 people at a most, but it actually ended up turning into this big house party. They moved it to their mom's house, which is down the street from us as well, and they're saying we can invite our friends, or I can invite my family. And obviously I wasn't thinking anything of it. I'm just like, okay, that's cool, like, let's have a New Year's party. I've never gone out for New Year's since I was like a kid, so I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. I didn't think anything of it, of course, but these little things that have been happening since we discussed this party, I really was like, okay, something is going down. I end up telling my dad and saying, if you and Sandy want to come, you're more than welcome to. And he was like, okay, maybe, I might come, I don't know, I might make other plans. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, no big deal. Well, and then I asked him again on Christmas Eve when we were at my dad's house for a Christmas party. I asked him again, and he still was like, maybe. I haven't heard anything else, from anybody, so maybe. Like, okay, cool. Usually maybe means no. It was towards the end of the night, and we both got in our cars at the same exact time, and as I was like pulling out to my spot, then he pulls into my dad's driveway, and I didn't think anything of it just because he was facing the opposite direction of where we could easily, get to our apartment. So I thought he was just making a U-turn into my dad's driveway and pulling out and following me. Well, I get to like the second light, and he's still not behind me, and I'm kind of like, weird. Like, he was literally on his way, and I ended up getting in my apartment, and he comes in like 5 or 10 minutes after I get home. And so I just asked him about it, like, told me he was talking on the phone, and so I'm like, okay, cool, that's okay, whatever, kind of brushed it off, I don't care, whatever, that's fine. And then the next day, on Christmas, we went to his dad and stepmom's house in Orange. And I remember sitting in the living room and leaving, but then forgetting something, and I was coming back into the living room, and that's when I saw Brittany, his older sister, whispering to their dad something, and right when I walked in and I looked over at them, they stopped. So I was kind of like, what are you guys whispering about? And then we were also talking about the New Year's party, and I was mentioning how my dad said he might come, but then Cody was like, oh no, he's going. And I'm like, what? He told me maybe. He's like, no, I talked to your dad. He said he'll be there, like, for sure, him and Sandy. And I'm like, that's when I started thinking, okay, if my dad told me maybe and then told Cody yes, he will be there, it's just, I don't know why, that just made me think something's gonna happen. And then I started putting the pieces together, like his dad and stepmom are gonna be there at the party as well. I feel like usually when I've seen them together, it's usually for a bridal shower or a wedding or something major. So that's when I was like, okay, this is weird. So later that night, I called my older sister, Stephanie, who was in Alabama, and I was like, you know what, like my dad's told me maybe, told him yes, like he was just acting weird, he got home late on Christmas Eve, like just all these assumptions. And she basically was like, oh, maybe, you know, you never know, maybe it'll happen, kind of playing along with me. But she did say, like, he hasn't told me anything, and if he proposes to you, I will need to know. So I don't think she knew. I was just kind of saying, like, I might be crazy, I might not, but I feel like I literally said, I think something is about to go down. So then Cody is showing me a video on his phone, and my sister Megan, she was texting him saying, hey, with like a little waving hand, and I was like, what is that about? And he's like, oh, I got you another Christmas present, it must have got delivered, like, don't worry about it. And basically, to fuck with him, I got ready, like I put a jacket on, put shoes on, and I got my car keys, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get that package from Megan, because she lives right down the street. And he was just like, no, like, don't go, like, you don't need it right now, just get it after New Year's. And I'm like, why? Like, it's a Christmas present, why can't I just get it now? Like, I was just totally messing with him. And you know, I obviously didn't go get anything because I knew there was nothing to get. And then I asked Megan to come to the New Year's party, but she said she was working, she wouldn't be able to come. And she would like mention a lot of stuff like, oh, I'm so jealous I can't be there, like all that stuff. When he got home from work, he was like, oh, your dad called me today. And I'm like, what? Why did my dad call you? And then he showed me, and there was like 2 or 3 phone calls from like my dad. And I'm like, that's so weird. And Cody's like, yeah, he just wants to see if he can invite more people to the party and see what he should bring. And I was like, well, shouldn't he be asking me about it if Brittany and I are the ones planning it? But then Cody kind of was like, well, it's my mom's house. He doesn't know how many people could fit at my mom's house. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So that was a little strange to me how my dad was calling him so much. I mean, it could have been about the party, but I don't know. And then, so I actually started to DM my sister on Instagram saying like, hey, this happened. I really think something's going to happen on New Year's, but I don't know for sure. But I really think he's going to propose to me. And she was basically, instead of saying like, oh my God, that'd be crazy, she just said, no, it's not happening. You're crazy. Pretty much. Like, she was just like, no, it's not happening. So then Brittany and I went to the mall, and we were walking by this jewelry store that had like 80% off and shiny rings, and she's like, we should just go find out what size you are and what style you like and try a few rings on. So I'm like, okay, cool, like, let's do it. And you know, I tried on 2 rings. I mentioned I didn't want a circular ring. I mentioned I didn't want gold. And the lady was just like, oh, you guys shopping for anything? And Brittany goes, oh, she may be engaged soon. Or I remember her saying something about like, oh, she might get a ring soon. So I was kind of like, soon? Okay. Then the next day, Brittany and I went out again to go to a balloon warehouse, and I was like sitting there and I wanted to tell her so bad, like, I feel like your brother's gonna propose to me, but then I'm like, I'm gonna sound crazy if it doesn't happen, if it's not happening. But I was just like, you know what, whatever. And I said, you know what, I feel like I'm gonna get proposed to on New Year's. And she's just like looking back now, she was just, she just looked so shocked that I said that, because obviously she knew it was happening. So she was just like, what? No, stop it. He hasn't said anything to me. He hasn't talked to my mom. I'm sure he would tell somebody. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna happen. All this stuff is happening. And I told her everything, and she's just like, well, I don't think so. But the way that she was probably freaking out inside, like, shit, she knows. And come to find out, they actually were talking about me in a group message saying like, oh, Brittany's on to you and stuff. So yeah, I can read people. So then on New Year's Eve, I went to his mom's house with his sister and we started setting up, and I had a lash appointment at 4 o'clock. So I ended up leaving to go to my lash appointment, and I'm laying there talking to my lash lady because sometimes I'll either have a lash nap or I will talk to her the whole entire time. So I was just talking to her, and I was like, I feel like Cody's gonna propose to me today because she knows my boyfriend.
My fiance.
And she's like, what? Really? Why? So yeah, I told my lash girl, and she was excited for me, and I told her, if it's 12:01 and I'm not engaged, that means I'm just crazy. So, she just said, let me know, and she's excited and all that stuff. So Brittany did my makeup, and Sierra did my hair, and we FaceTimed with my sister from Alabama, and she was just so text me everything, send me so many pictures, and I'm just like, okay, it's just a party, but okay. As the night goes on, my dad and his girlfriend show up, and I'm standing in the kitchen, and out pops my sister, and she's just like, hi, and I was like, oh my god, I thought you had work. And basically he surprised me with her, basically what happened. So I got super excited, and as the night went on, I started to drink a little bit. I completely 100% forgot about the whole engagement thing, but I realized that, looking back now, I was not really talking to Cody that much the whole entire night. We hung out a little bit here and there, but he was mainly with the boys and hanging out with them, and I was just hanging out with my sister and his sister and my dad, and we were just completely not together, which is not really normal we live together, we do everything together, so we don't have to be together at all times. It came time to bring everybody into the living room to watch the ball drop for New Year's, and looking back now, I sat in the perfect spot. I wasn't sitting on the couch, I wasn't sitting in the dining room, because I was everyone else could sit on the couch if they want, and I don't know what it's called, but it's just in front of the window, and a bench in front of the window, and the TV was off to the side, so it was getting close to the countdown, and Cody still wasn't sitting next to me, so I actually texted him saying, come here, come sit next to me. And all this time I did not know anything was gonna happen. I texted him, I was like, why are you sitting, why are you over there, come sit next to me. And he came, sat next to me. I was with his mom next to me and our dog Flex, and then we did the countdown, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. And they turned the TV down a little bit, and Brittany makes a little speech saying, thank you for coming. And we made a little joke that because on the invitations, Brittany put 8 p.m. to midnight. And I was like, why is it midnight? Because she's after midnight, I want everyone to leave. And so after she did her little whole speech, this is on film, I literally was like, now get out, because it's 12:01, and I was like, everyone leave, party's over, let's go home, I'm tired. And in the video that they filmed, you can see everybody, including his mom that was sitting next to me, facing everyone's camera at me, or at us. And I didn't even notice that Cody's oh, before everybody leaves, and he gets down on one knee, and I'm thinking what the hell are you doing? I didn't hear him say before everyone leaves. I wasn't paying attention to him, I was a little bit buzzed and stuff. And he gets down on one knee, and I'm just sitting there confused. I'm just what are you doing? I thought he was tying his shoe. I thought he was pulling a prank on me. He gets down on one knee and has a box in his hand, and I'm still what's happening? When he opened it, that's when I was oh my god. And I almost said I knew it, but I didn't want to ruin the moment. And I was shocked, honestly. I was still shocked. Even though I had an idea leading up to it, when it happened, I was this feels so weird. It feels like an out-of-body experience. I felt like I was dreaming. Because it did not feel real at all. It felt so fake. It felt like a dream. I don't even care what he said. I don't even care what anyone was saying. I don't even care that so many people were there. I was just so shocked that it happened. But yeah, it happened, and this is my ring. If you guys could see it. This is the ring that he got me. Everyone was there, our family, our friends, everybody knew at the party. Everybody knew. The one thing I'm just like, how did nobody slip up and say something? That's what I'm really shocked about. That I totally forgot that he was gonna propose to me. That's probably why my sister wanted to take a shot with me to make me forget, because that worked. But yeah, and my sisters were FaceTiming each other, so my sister in Alabama was able to see, and I'm gonna start crying. I'm gonna start crying. I don't know, my eyes are starting to get watery. But yeah, she was there. So I'm gonna be posting the video in here as well, so you guys can all see that. But yeah, I'm happy. I was shocked. That's all that matters. Even though I knew it was gonna happen, I was shocked because I forgot, obviously. And one more thing. I remember telling Brittany, his sister, that there was 2 reasons why I didn't think he was going to propose to me. And the first one was because I told her about the money and how it was all over the place. So I didn't think he had enough money, like, saved up for it. I honestly didn't think that he would propose to me in front of a large group of people, let alone our family and friends. Strangers maybe, but I always said, like, yeah, I don't think he's that type of person to just make a whole big scene out of it. I think it would just be somewhere special with just the 2 of us. So I was actually really shocked at the fact that he did that. And in the video, you could actually see him struggling to get the ring out of his pants because he was sitting down and his pants are so tight. I found out that he wanted to propose to me right when it said, like, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. Like, that's when he wanted to, but he had to do it after because he couldn't get the ring out. And you could see the look on some of the people's faces, like, keep looking at him, like, come on, dude, like, what's going on? So, yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Bye!
2020! Yeah! Woo! Thanks, everybody, for coming to a great New Year party.
1201, guys, go.
What? 1201.
Before everyone leaves, though. Wait, tell them to clean up. Oh.
Same.
Look
at me.
I'm serious.
Yes, he is serious.
Look at me. I want you to know that I love you. And I'm happy that you stayed with me through all these years. And that you put up with everything.
Oh my god.
Yes. What is this? Hold on. What? Let's
Take the fake one off. Throw it away.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
Yes?
Woo! Thank you, everybody, for knowing and not telling her.